Okay, hello and welcome to Soccer Now with myself, Samuel Reese, coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Today is Monday, August 13th, and what a great day it is, really. All the European leagues, not all of them, but a lot of European leagues have got England, the Ligue 1 from France, the Super League from Turkey, Primera Liga from Portugal. We'll be talking about the German and Spanish Super Cups. We have it all right on this show today, so I hope you enjoy the show, and let's get right into it. First of all, Marseille took on Toulouse in Ligue 1 in match week 1, and the final score was Marseille 4, Toulouse 0. That was the match that kicked off Ligue 1, and really dominant game by Marseille. A good way to start the season off for them, that's for sure. Also, Ankara Gucci played Galatasaray in the Super League match week 1. The final score was Ankara Gucci 1, Galatasaray 3. Although Ankara Gucci scored early on and took the lead, Galatasaray took care of business in the end. One of the Turkish league's biggest clubs, getting off to a good start with the win. Also, later in the show, we will be talking about, from the French League and Turkish League, we'll be talking about Nantes Monaco, Angers Nîmes, Lille Rennes, Montpellier versus Dijon, Nice versus Stade Reims, Saint Etienne versus Guingamp, and Fenerbahce versus Bursaspor. We'll be talking about all of those games later on. Also, Jose Mourinho had some comments on Liverpool's splurging, saying, maybe this season, finally, you have to demand they win. I think you have to be fair, and now you have to demand they win the league. You have to say the team with the investments, I can't see anyone else getting close to spending what they have. So maybe, Jose Mourinho, a little jealous of Liverpool and the spending they made, and that he hasn't been doing too good with Man United. That's what I think it is, because if he's demanding Liverpool to win the league, what about his team? He shouldn't go talking about Liverpool. Come on. But Jose Mourinho making a mess of himself once more. Also, Jurgen Klopp responded. He said, he is not concerned. He said, I think Jose Mourinho doesn't really care about what I say. For me, it's quite sure that I don't care at all about what he says about me. So accordingly, all is good. A nice way to put it by Jurgen Klopp, for sure. Just ignore him. So speaking of Jose Mourinho and Man United did take on Leicester City in Premier League match week 1. And the final score was Man United 2, Leicester City 1. So despite all the craziness going on around Jose Mourinho and Man United, they got the win, although Vardy pulled one back late in the game. Pogba and Shaw scoring, Pogba on a penalty kick. But Vardy scored late on a really miscue by the defense and David De Gea. So things got a little antsy at the end, but Man United got the win. So first Premier League game, so far so good for them. Also, Sarri is not sold. Mauricio Sarri knows Kepa Arrizabalaga has a lot of work to do. So despite getting Kepa for a world record goalkeeper fee, he still is not afraid to say what he wants. As he said, Kepa, still a lot of work to do to get to the level Courtois is at. But I'll talk about how Kepa and Chelsea did later on. Also, Man United are off to a good start. As I mentioned, the Red Devils did open the season with a 2-1 win versus Leicester City. So we'll see how they do the rest of the season, but a good start. So for now, Man United's all good for now, but we'll see what happens later on. Also, it really is a new era at Chelsea. Mauricio Sarri did make his EPL debut versus Huddersfield Town. Later on in the show, I'll tell you what happened in that game. And there is a new task for Chelsea supporters, as Kepa Arrizabalaga, he posted a video of him pronouncing his name. I probably didn't say it right, but for Chelsea fans, we've mastered Azpilicueta, but now we have to practice Kepa's name. Anyway, something to work on. Also, there's a little bit of Zlatan Ibrahimovic versus MLS, as the LA Galaxy striker called his suspension ridiculous. A lot of people having different opinions about it. But there is a rule that if you skip the MLS All-Star game, you have to sit out the next league game for your team too, in a game that the LA Galaxy actually lost. So it's very costly for Zlatan to be suspended, but it's the rules. Also, Wayne Rooney talked about settling in at DC United. A huge play yesterday. I'll talk about that later. Fantastic. So good to see Wayne Rooney get comfortable in the nation's capital with DC United, despite being the worst team in the league or in the Eastern Conference anyway. Also, the top 5 transfer tracker stories. Napoli's deal with Memo Ochoa is stalling, so seemed like that move was very imminent in occurring, but still nothing yet. It is stalling. 4 is Sevilla FC is eyeing keeper Kiko Casilla. Definitely makes sense. Kiko Casilla on the bench at Real Madrid. Sevilla will need a new goalie. Casilla would seem like a good fit for them. 3 is that Real Madrid are interested in Thiago Alcantara. Of course, Thiago, the Bayern Munich man, it seems like he could be on his way out to Real. What an interesting move that would be. Also, 2, Michy Batshuayi has joined Valencia CF on loan. So Batshuayi is out of Chelsea. He is going on to Valencia. We'll see how he does there, but definitely an interesting loan move. It is a loan, but he will be in Spain for this La Liga season. And, of course, one Leonardo Bonucci was presented at Juventus. So, Serie A starting pretty soon. And it'll be interesting to see Bonucci back in a Juve uniform. Also, in Being the Street with Being Sports' Jimmy Conrad, he asked the people of San Francisco, who do the people think is the best in the world? A lot of Messi and Ronaldo as you expect, but some other people said Modric and stuff. I'd like to hear what you guys think for sure. But yeah, definitely interesting debate right now. Also, one to watch with Matteo Benetti of Being Sports. For a player, he said Lionel Messi. He was officially named FC Barcelona's 2018 and 19 captain. Definitely, it'll be interesting to see how Messi does this season, especially after not a great World Cup with Argentina and a Barcelona team that's arguably the best in the world. It'll be definitely fun to see how Messi does. I'd agree with that. The player to watch. The team to watch is Lyon. They were the only team to finish top 5 in Ligue 1 for the past 20 seasons. Definitely a lot of history at the club, and very impressive finishing in top 5 20 years. But Lyon, a lot of talent on that team. I'll tell you how they did in their match over the weekend later. But definitely an exciting team to watch. The game to watch, he said PSG versus Cannes, which was yesterday, and I'll tell you how that match went later. Definitely an interesting game. I'll tell you how it went. And also some not dirty quotes, but a little nasty quotes, I'd say, I guess, from some soccer players. Arturo Vidal said, "This is a big step up from Bayern Munich on going to Barcelona." I mean, come on, Arturo. Bayern Munich and Barcelona are not a big difference. They're both top 5 clubs in Europe, huge clubs. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't put Bayern under the bus like that. They're a great club for sure. Memphis Depay said, "Of course, I want to make the step to a bigger club, but we will see when that is." So, kind of trash talking Lyon a little bit, saying they're not a big club. But those quotes might not be true according to Memphis himself. I'll explain that later, as he said they are lying about those, about putting words in his mouth, really. But also Leonardo Bonucci said, "The time I spent away gave me something on a human level, but it took something away from me in terms of victories." So, he's back at Juventus, kind of saying that AC Milan part was just getting a little normal life in. Now he's back to playing soccer, and he was never going to get victories at AC Milan. Yeah, a little dirty comments from those three players, but we'll see how they do with their clubs this season. But Memphis Depay with a brilliant goal actually in the game. I'll talk about that later. Also, Villarreal CF performed a magic trick, really. If you haven't seen it, you have to. Santi Cazorla got revealed to the crowd in a unique fashion. If you haven't seen it, you definitely got to look it up. It's pretty unique. Also, West Brom unveiled their new mascot. It's the Boiler Man, and he does seem to be part of a sponsorship deal with Ideal Boilers because it's pretty embarrassing. But the West Brom fans having fun with it in the second division of England now. And if you haven't seen that too, you got to look it up. The West Brom's new mascot's pretty embarrassing. But anyway, that's all of heading into the weekend, all that news. Now we'll head to all the news this weekend. First of all, the Brazil legend Ronaldo was hospitalized in Ibiza with pneumonia. There are reports, though, that he is expected to be discharged from intensive care and sent home Monday. So we hope the original great Ronaldo will be all right. Thoughts and prayers out to him for sure. Back to the soccer, though. PSG played Caen yesterday, and Les Parisians were unbeaten in their last 6 league openers. They had 3 wins and 3 draws in their last 6 league openers, so they were dominant heading into the game with a great record for league openers. And the final score was PSG 3, Caen 0. The U.S. men's international Timothy Weah netted his first goal in Ligue 1. So good to see that for sure. The American getting a goal. Great to see him in the game and scoring too. So Paris Saint-Germain did beat Caen 3-0. Here are your match statistics. Angel Di Maria and Timothy Weah, really the 2 key parts to PSG's win. Angel Di Maria didn't have any goals, though. Timothy Weah did have 1, as I mentioned. Di Maria had an assist. Timothy Weah did not. 2 big stats from them. Also, Di Maria had 2 goal attempts. Weah did also. They each had 2 attempts on target. They each had 0 attempts off target. And their on-target percentage was 100 each. Successful pass percentage, Di Maria 79, Weah 100. Chances created, 2 for Di Maria, 0 for Weah. In crosses, Di Maria 4, Weah 0. In duels 1, Di Maria 3, Weah 0. So definitely a big impact from both of those players. Weah coming off the bench and scoring a goal. Good to see the American score. And PSG off to a good start as we'd expect, winning 3-0. Also, Lyon played Amiens. The Les Gones had scored in 24 of their last 25 Ligue 1 games. So the final score was Lyon 2, Amiens 0. Traoré and Depay found the net in the side's season-opening win. So if clubs like Lyon, Monaco, and Marseille want to compete with PSG, definitely need to get that win on opening day, and that's exactly what Lyon did. So impressive. Also, Memphis Depay versus Amiens had 1 goal, 2 shots on target, and 4 chances created. So a good game by Depay, but he had some feisty comments at the end of the game. If you haven't seen them, you better. Saying that basically the reporters were lying in a way. But you definitely should take a look at it. Also, Bordeaux took on Strasbourg. Bordeaux was undefeated in their last 4 league games, the longest streak in the top flight. The final to Bordeaux didn't help either really early on in the game. So here are your matches from match day 1. Other matches other than the ones I've mentioned on Saturday, Monaco beat Nantes 3-1. Nîmes beat Angers 4-3 in a 7-goal thriller. Lille beat Rennes 3-1. Dijon beat Montpellier 2-1. Reims beat Nice 1-0. What a surprise there. And Saint Etienne beat Guingamp 2-1. So exciting all around really from Ligue 1 in the opening match day. Also, Sevilla FC played FC Barcelona. The sides met for the Spanish Super Cup at the Stade IBN Batuta in Morocco. The final score was Sevilla FC 1, FC Barcelona 2. So Barca did lift the 2018 Spanish Super Cup trophy. Sevilla missing a penalty kick, by the way, in the 92nd minute. A huge opportunity. Many argue that it wasn't even a penalty in the first place, but Sevilla could have made it go to extra time. And anyway, Barca ended up champions. Sevilla, though, they were in it for sure. They were leading the game 1-0, actually. So a tough loss for Sevilla, but Barca, another trophy before the season starts, really. And Piqué and Dembele found the net to seal the Supercopa win. Good to see Dembele score, that's for sure. We haven't seen him too often with the injuries and really being benched quite often. But yeah, good to see Dembele score. Also, Arsenal took on Manchester City. The Citizens were unbeaten in their last 9 opening PL games, heading in with 8 wins and 1 draw. And that record continued. The final score was Arsenal 0, Manchester City 2. Manchester City do have a strong start with goals from Sterling and Silva. Good to see Sterling score. He scored quite often last year, actually, for Man City. Just for England, I think that he doesn't score somehow. But, yeah, somewhat having trouble scoring quite often, Sterling. But he scored, and Bernardo Silva, the Portuguese man, with a great goal also. So nothing too surprising. We thought Man City would win, and they did. A little disappointing from Arsenal to start off the season, though, despite having the challenge of playing Man City. Also, Liverpool played West Ham United. The Reds did win each of their last 3 league games versus the Hammers. So the final score was Liverpool 4, West Ham United 0. Salah netted a goal and Mane netted a brace in the sides Premier League return. So Liverpool continuing their impressive play from last season, and I definitely think Liverpool will be challenging Man City for that title. They looked impressive for sure. So yeah, so here are the matches from match day 1 in the Premier League. Elsewhere, they were really great matchups. And so other matches around the league on Saturday, Tottenham Hotspur beat Newcastle United 2-1. Bournemouth beat Cardiff City 2-0. Crystal Palace beating Fulham 2-0. Also, Chelsea beating Huddersfield Town 3-0, by the way. So Chelsea getting the win. Watford beating Brighton and Hove Albion 2-0. And Wolverhampton Wanderers and Everton playing to an exciting 2-2 draw. Also, going back to the transfer tracker with the latest rumors, there are reports that AC Milan's Colombian striker Carlos Bacca could leave the San Siro. There were reports that he was going to go to Sporting of Portugal, by the way. But they are saying that he's holding off to see if he can go back to Villarreal. So we'll see if he either ends up at Sporting or Villarreal, but it definitely seems like he'll be out of the San Siro, no longer with AC Milan. Also, Valencia have reportedly agreed to sign Kevin Gamero from Atletico Madrid. He is talented, by the way. I saw him a little bit in preseason, and a big pickup for Valencia. Also getting Batshuayi. Valencia for sure will be a team to look at. Also, Jerome Boateng has neared a move to PSG from Bayern Munich. So Boateng looks like he will be going to PSG. Has wanted out for Bayern Munich for quite a while now. I'm not sure why, really. But looks like PSG will get an even better squad picking up Boateng. Anyway, Besiktas played Akhisarspor in the Turkish Super League Round 1 at the Vodafone Arena. And Besiktas 2, Akhisarspor 1 was the final score. Pepe opened the scoring for his Turkish side in their first win of the season. So good to see Pepe score a great goal, by the way. It was nerve-wracking at the end with Akhisarspor scoring on a very bad defensive error by Besiktas. But Besiktas, in the end, holding off for the win, and that's what they needed for sure with Fenerbahce and Galatasaray winning. And also another big club who was really made their name last year in Turkey, that was Başakşehir. They took on Trabzonspor in the Turkish Super League Round 1 at Başakşehir Faith Terim Stadium. The final score was Başakşehir 2, Trabzonspor 0. Manuel da Costa and Adebayor sealed the win in their first season game. And Adebayor still playing. And Başakşehir getting the win. Adebayor still scoring goals. And so all of the big four teams from last year, all from Istanbul, by the way, getting the wins. So here are the matches from match day 1. I didn't mention Fenerbahce beat Bursaspor 2-1. I might have mentioned that, but also elsewhere in the Turkish league, other than the big four teams, on Saturday, Kayseri Rizespor lost to Kasimpasa SK 3-2. Sivasspor beat Alanyaspor 1-0, and yesterday, elsewhere, Konyaspor beat Erzurum Başakşehir Belediyespor 3-2, and Göztepe SK fell to Yeni Malatyaspor 3-1. So great Turkish league action, really, on the first week of the Turkish Super League. Also, the top 5 goals. 5 was Emre Gidanic of Sivasspor, and unfortunately, I can't show them. I don't have video of them, but definitely take a look at all these. And if you've seen them, you probably can agree with me or not. 4 Memphis Depay of Lyon with a brilliant free kick. 3 Wahbi Khazri of Saint Etienne. Yes, Khazri is at Saint Etienne. Brilliant half volley into the left bottom corner. 2 Abdul Khalili of Kasimpasa. Basically Depay's free kick, but 10 yards further out. An absolute belter. And 1 Sada Tube of Nimes. By the way, Nimes, the promoted side, won 4-3 in a thriller. They were down 3-1, came back to win 4-3, and this was the start of the comeback to get the second goal. Tube dribbled through 4 or 5 defenders, and then with a brilliant finish. Definitely, in my opinion, the best goal of the weekend. Also, Cristiano Ronaldo scored in the first 8 minutes of his Juventus debut. The former Real Madrid star started versus the B team in the Villar Perosa friendly. So good to see Ronaldo back and scoring too already. Just 8 minutes in, but friendly, still good to see him get the goal in his debut. He'll be back. He'll be in competitive action in Serie A coming up. Remember, the locker room is on Mondays and Fridays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time. In my opinion, the best soccer debate show in the United States. Definitely tune into that along with my show. Also, the Turkish Super League highlight show is Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time. It is your weekly dose of all the best from each round's Super League action. So if you're a Turkish fan or you didn't see the action on the weekend, definitely tune in for that too. Also, we'll end the show with some with your Liga NOS Portuguese Primeira Liga segment. Week 1 did take place in the Portuguese League this weekend, and what an exciting weekend it was. The big 3 teams were back in action. That started on Friday with Benfica beating Vitória Guimarães 3-2. And in that game, Pizzi had a hat trick score in the first half, by the way, scoring in the 10th, 30th, and 38th minute. But Guimarães definitely made it interesting in the second half. It looked like it would be a comfortable win for Benfica, but Andre scored in the 76th minute, the former Porto man, by the way, and Solis scored in the 81st minute, but Guimarães didn't have enough to pull off the great comeback, a great comeback, really. So Benfica did end up winning, but worrisome at the end. Porto took on Chaves on Saturday. The final was Porto 5, Chaves 0. That Porto, my team, by the way. Abubakar had 2 goals in the 14th and 20th minute. Then Brahimi scored in the 45th minute, 3-0 at the half. And in the second half, 2 substitutes scored. Corona, the Mexican, scored in the 71st minute. And Muan Yilmaz scored in the 88th minute. Also, Chaves had a red card to Teixeira in the 80th minute. So not good for Chaves, but for Porto, it was the best start possible, really, coming off their title-winning season. So, yeah, great start from Porto. And then yesterday, Sporting took on Moreirense. The final score the final score was Moreirense 1, Sporting Clube de Portugal 3. So Sporting did get the win, although Moreirense did open up the scoring with a goal by Tavares in the 6th minute. But then Fernandez scored in the 16th minute. A lot of you would be familiar with him from the World Cup for Portugal. And then Bas Dost had 2 goals, a 74th minute penalty kick, and then a goal in the 2nd minute of second half stoppage time to really clinch the win for Sporting. So all of the big 3 teams in Portugal did win, but elsewhere in the Portuguese league, there were a lot of great games. On Saturday, Belenenses beat Tondela 1-0. Vitória Setúbal beat Desportivo Aves 2-0. Marítimo, this is on Sunday now, Marítimo beat Santa Clara 1-0. For those of you from the Azores, like my dad, it's hard to see Santa Clara lose their first game. A heartbreaker, really, Marítimo scoring a penalty in stoppage time. But just the first game, definitely it's great to see a team from São Miguel, the Santa Clara team, back in the first division for the first time in a few decades anyway. So their goal this year will definitely be to stay in the first division. Also, Feirense beat Rio Ave 2-0. Sporting Braga beat Nacional 4-2. And Portimonense plays Boa Vista to wrap up Week 1 action at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:15 Pacific today. So, so some great Portuguese action to start off the 2018-19 season. So, of course, Porto, Sporting, and Benfica all starting off with 3 points in a win. But also Braga, Feirense, Setúbal, Belenenses, and Marítimo all picked up wins. And with Guimarães, Santa Clara, Tondela, Nacional, Moreirense, Aves, Rio Ave, and Chaves all losing in their first game. So, and of course, Portimonense playing Boa Vista. That will wrap up Week 1. Exciting Portuguese Primeira Liga action, and it'll be a fun season for sure. That battle with the big 3 teams will be absolutely phenomenal. And we'll see if any of the other little clubs compared to Sporting, Porto, and Benfica will make a challenge for the Europa League spot or the top 3 even. But thanks for tuning into the show. We had a ton to talk about with all of the European leagues getting underway. But absolutely, it was a great weekend, and we'll have a lot to talk about from now on with all the leagues starting. We'll have one more weekday show tomorrow at the same time, same place. But then my show will be moving to the weekends as school starts for me on Wednesday. So the show will be on Saturdays and Sundays. The time is yet to be determined, but I'll let you know by the end of tomorrow's show. It will definitely be later on in the day on Saturday and Sunday to recap those days of action. But so I'll let you know all of that. I'll still have my show, and I'll still let you enjoy all the soccer action and news that you need to be caught up on. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks.